Well, good afternoon and welcome back. This is another edition of more Tea Vicar, an occasional series where we're just taking an opportunity to take some time out of our normal routine, whatever that routine might be now for you. My routine has changed slightly in as much that I went back to work for 3 days of the week last week, working for Southend Care as a care worker. I work in a number of places offering care to those more vulnerable at this time. So my last week has been a little bit of normality returned, but we thought that we'd keep going with this occasional series of just musings and thoughts whilst we're in this situation that we find ourselves. And of course it's Holy Week, so lots of things are thinking about heading towards the weekend. Normally as a church, we would be planning to gather on Thursday evening, and on Friday at some point we had plans for all sorts of activities and events. And then of course there's our Easter Sunday service, which will be brought to you via YouTube. So make sure you catch up with us there on Sunday. But even before then, there'll be some opportunities to meditate and think about the Easter story. So in a moment, I'll be leading us through a small meditation and prayer here. And then tomorrow, we'll have an opportunity to hear, hopefully from Ed, who is one of the students and who attends church. And then on Friday, from Lydia, who is a former student now living up in Leeds, but has offered to bring us some thoughts for the day on Friday. Around about midday each time. So if you can catch us live, that's great. If you're looking at this later in the day, that's fine as well. We'll be leaving all of these broadcasts up, but this live, so anything can happen in the next few minutes. But let me explain to you how it's going to work for the next 10 minutes or so. I don't know about you, but I've got my cuppa here, so that's great. If you have got a cuppa, that's good. A couple of Easters ago, we met out on the cliffs as a group to worship and spend Easter morning together. Some of you may recall that. And at that service, I presented a spoken word piece. And I've felt that it would be great to do that again today. There'll be some people who won't have been there a couple of years ago who won't have heard it, and there'll be some that will have forgotten it. But it's appropriate for this time of the year. So I thought I would repeat that. And then I'm going to close with a prayer that's been written by Brother Richard Hendrick, who is an Irish priest, part of the Franciscan order. And he's just recently published a liturgy prayer that we will close on. So the spoken word piece, there's a little bit of a story behind it. I adapted it from a song that has been performed by Gregory Porter. Gregory Porter is an amazing talent, a jazz singer, and he wrote this piece which I've adapted. So half I can't take credit for, half are his words, and half I've adjusted and adapted myself. So let me encourage you just to hear the words and to take this moment just to think about this week that we are in, Holy Week, when Christ changed the course of history. And let's hear these words. There once was a kingdom far, far away, where love was the rule of the day. Nothing more, nothing less than to give your friend your best. There's much more story that I could tell to make even the hardest heart melt. This is the story when love was king. When love was king, he ruled the land with his fist unfurled, arms open for the world. Of hungry children first he'd think, to pull their lives away from the brink when love was king. When love was king, he rescued souls lost at sea. In drifting vessels, he'd hear their plea. When love was king, he threw a line before they'd sink. He'd give the thirsty ones a drink. He told the meek that they should try to use their spirit to smite the lie that being kind is for the weak. When love was king. I pray thee, Lord, these words we'd seek. When love was king, he showed respect for every woman, every man, regardless of their skin or clan. Beside him stood his mighty queen, God's spirit, an equal force, wise and keen. When love was king, he lifted up the underneath, and all his wealth he did bequeath to those who toiled without a gain, that they too would remember his reign when love was king. Love is king. This kingdom, far, far away, is present now, to know today, to melt your heart, to make it sing when you discover for yourself the one who is king. So seek some place to call your own, right next to his mighty, shining throne. For all are welcome to sit and dwell, to hear this story that others they might tell. For love is king, right here and now. And of his mercies, we simply don't know how we deserve so fine a gift as to give our hearts such a mellifluous lift. For through our toils and many snares, his kingdom is with us, and in it we share. For his love is king. His love is king, and we get to partake in the freedom he brought us when they nailed a stake through his hands that were tied to a tree on a hill, as he gave his own life in order that still the story would go on. Love rules the day. Love conquers all. His own sacrifice paid for us all. The greatest news we ever could know was that love didn't stay dead, didn't die, didn't slow. Death was defeated. The king raised to life. And now all in this kingdom are invited to thrive. For this kingdom isn't distant, far away. It's not out of reach, but is present, is attainable to all those who seek. His love is king. So crown him in your heart and find each day a fresh new start. For love is the rule of the day. And now it's your call to stand up and say, his love is king, and I am his. Well, maybe in a few minutes, I may also put up a link here that will point you to the song that Gregory Porter sings, where that meditation and that spoken word is based around. But for now, we're going to just close with a prayer, a part of a liturgy that was written in these recent weeks by this Franciscan brother, Brother Richard Hendrick, and then we're going to close. So let me read to you. Yes, there is fear. Yes, there is isolation. Yes, there is panic buying. Yes, there is sickness. Yes, there is death. But they say that in Wuhan, after so many years of noise, you can hear the birds again. They say that after just a few weeks of quiet, the sky is no longer thick with fumes, but blue and grey and clear. They say that in the streets of Assisi, people are singing to each other across the empty squares, keeping their windows open so that those who are alone may hear the sounds of family around them. They say that a hotel in the west of Ireland is offering free meals from a side window and delivery to the housebound. Today, a young woman I know is busy spreading flyers with her number throughout her neighbourhood so that the more vulnerable may have someone to call on. All over the world, people are slowing down and reflecting. All over the world, people are looking at their neighbours in a new way. All over the world, people are waking up to a different reality, to how big we really are, to how little control we really have, and to what really matters, to love. So we pray and we remember that yes, there is fear, but there does not have to be hate. Yes, there is isolation, but there does not have to be loneliness. Yes, there is panic buying, but there does not have to be meanness. Yes, there is sickness, but there does not have to be disease of the soul. Yes, there is even death, but there can always be a rebirth of love. Wake to the choices you make as to how to live now. Today, breathe. Listen. Behind the factory noise of your own panic, the birds are singing again, the sky is clearing, spring is coming. There is resurrection hope. We are always encompassed by God's love. Open the windows then of your own soul, and though you may not be able to touch each other across an empty square or from balcony to balcony, or even in the street, sing like the birds. Well, we have Brother Richard Hendrick to thank for those words, and it leaves me now really to do is to encourage you to return here if you can, or to catch up when you can. We hope to have some more meditations for you on Maundy Thursday and Good Friday. And of course, when it comes to Easter Sunday, we will be broadcasting our Sunday morning service. On that note, when you gather, if you do gather at 10:30 in your homes to tune in, let me encourage you to bring with you something appropriate for taking communion. Because as a community, wherever we find ourselves, we're going to be sharing in that exercise and in that practice of remembering what Christ has done online together. So do encourage you to look around the house for something appropriate, any drink, any snack, any food item that you can bring as you watch our service on Sunday. Will be great. We look forward to seeing you then. Have a blessed day, and may God tread your path as you go.